Right then, whether you are listening or indeed watching, I have a very special guest for you right now. And please, a warm welcome to Jeffrey Holland. Hello there, Jeffrey. How are you doing?
It's nice to see you. Nice to be here. Nice to talk to everybody.
It's great to see you as well. It really is. And if I may, we're going to start off with a question about a recent project, because obviously you've got such an illustrious career, but Barmy Dale, what a project to be involved with. Tell us a bit about your character, because it's a fantastic podcast, isn't it?
It is. It's great fun to play in it. Really, they write it and they approached me if I'd like to play the vicar in it, which was a great fun. Do during lockdown, all those months, and it was just sort of, can't go out anywhere. I'll just sit in. I'll play a vicar. That was here. It's just great fun. It's just a funny program, and I've got a lot of experienced pros involved as well now. So it could be bigger than it is. Just comes to it.
And it's got, like you mentioned, it's got such a great cast from other sitcoms as well. Vicky Michelle's in there, Carl Howman from Brushstrokes, and I think it's in its second series now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wife Judy Buxton, she's playing my wife, Vicar's wife as well. So to be working together again, it's lovely. It's great fun. Great fun.
And another project, I know I would love to see you perform this live, but a couple of years ago, Talking Pictures started showing Laurel and Hardy films, and I was getting the kids to watch them, and they absolutely loved them. They really did, and it's been brilliant to introduce it to a new generation. But you've been doing a stage show for many years, and this is My Friend Mr. Laurel, haven't you?
I have indeed. I went back in the 1970s. To Laurel and Hardy, particularly Stan himself, because he's such an amazing story. It's quite incredible. People don't know stuff about him. It's incredible things, all about money they've made and lost, and all the wives, their lives, of which there were many, for both men. And, the sad fact that Stan lost a baby boy. So there's a great story to tell there, and I wanted to do it. You see, Laurel and Hardy as an alternative to the news on BBC One, and my love for them was rekindled anyway. Obviously, and I thought it'd be a great idea to do a one-man show about Stan, but of course at the time I was far too young, and I waited, and years to get that play on, and now it's been a great success for me. I'm still during the year, so I'm still doing it.
It's brilliant that you're still doing it, and I hope I will get to see it eventually. Now, first question from our listeners and viewers. Neil Richardson, if you're out there, says, "What was it like working with the Dad's Army actors? Because you worked on an episode called Wake Up Warmington in 1977, didn't you? I didn't realise that. It was Neil that told me."
Because I met Perry and Croft. I put Army stage show because it was being worked a lot with in the theatre, and he asked me to come and audition. Croft, I could be very useful in the show, and story short, I got the job, and I spent a year in the stage show of Dad's Army, 6 months in the end of London, and then 6 months on a national tour around all the major theatres. And I ended up playing Private Walker. For me, I was 29 at the time. I was a young and amazing, painting on and standing there with my rifle, ready, and it was just incredible. And that's how I got to know Jimmy and through various other means. They asked various shows. I did a couple of 8.5 Mums for them over a couple of years, and then they cast me as a little part in an army truck driver in the first episode of the final series. I just finished up by saying I nearly ran Clive Dunn over.
Really?
Great big 1940. I was driving, and I wasn't a very experienced driver at that time. And he stopped me, and I put the brakes on. I got I really should have done, but it was a touch and go moment for me. Heart was in my mouth, but I didn't run him.
I remember your cameos in Are You Being Served? Obviously, like you say, you joined kind of the Crofton Perry kind of family tree early on, and the Are You Being Served cameos are brilliant as well. And then the Heidi High pilot went out on the first day of the 80s, if I'm right. So then there was a bit of a gap between the pilot and the first series. I'm gonna guess it wrong, but did you join the Russ Abbot's Madhouse after Heidi High? Did you film a series of that before doing the first series of Heidi High, or was it the other way around?
It was you made the first series of Heidi High in 1980, rooted into the Russ 81, and I almost did Heidi High.
Right.
But it wasn't because I took a whole pile of photographs with me when I played a lot in the theatre and wore different makeup and different costumes, and I took these photographs to show the producer of Russ, and it was because of the way I looked so different. It asked me to do the show. Otherwise, I might not have got the job, you know. And it was different characters, and that's exactly what we did about. It was marvelous.
And it's like you say, your first series of Russ Abbott's Madhouse have been actually repeating on That's TV. And I know one of my friends on Twitter, Paul Burton, he said that you can't pick up the channel, you can't watch the repeats, can you?
Well, I can't get it there. I mean, in the London region where I am, so I can't see it. I've got them all on. First, a couple I'm missing, but I've got the disc now. Anyway, I recorded them on tape all those years ago, and I've transferred the tapes to disc on most of them anyway. For when I go back at them.
I mean, of course,
who's that young lad there?
And of course, it was you worked on the radio episodes for Radio 2. Many years after the TV series finished, it was such a long period. Working with Russ, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was lovely because we were able to stuff most of it anyway on radio, where we didn't have to dress up, we didn't have to learn it. We just stood in front of the mic and read. Just as much fun to do it again as it was to do it the first time.
And Heidi High, I hadn't seen a lot of the later episodes until I think it was BBC Two that repeated the show in 2015 during the daytime. And for me, that it was a brilliant opportunity to just watch it from start to finish. And the latter episodes are brilliant and were often overlooked, in the first years of repeats, I thought. But it's just the quality is still there right till the end, I thought.
The show changed. Still chose to leave. He decided he wanted to leave the show, and he went off to do other things. And they cast David Griffin as Squamster, as the new entertainment manager. It was a very different kettle of next character of Gladys. Instead of being all that she used to do with Jeffrey Fairbrother, she had to do all the fending off because it was Clark flirting and the coming on. So she. It ended well. They did get married at the end, but the show survived. The show survived. And we were wondering whether, and I think that's due largely to the quality of the writing, that he had, and Grandmilord after that. But it was a touch and go moment when we weren't sure what would happen to the show and the cast, but it went just as well, like a different route. It survived.
It's funny you mention You Rang Me Lord, because I was about 8 or 9 when that first went out on BBC One, and I don't know if it's because of its because of its length. It dared a bit like Only Fools and Horses at the time. It moved to 50 minutes, which was just unheard of in a sitcom. But so I don't know if that kind of goes against it when channels are buying repeats. But it is absolutely brilliant. It was there on Saturday nights. It's just brilliant writing. You've got this fantastic ensemble again. It looked like great fun.
It was enormous fun. It was like working in a real house. We had to do each show because of its length and day. We had to do it in 2 sections. We had to do it on one week, Friday week. We went in and finished it on each episode in 2 weeks. The scenes that were out of the audience's view that would be set, drawing room, his lordship's study, and things at the back of the set, all the bedrooms now. And then the following week, we put an audience in front of them, which was the kitchen scene, one or two others. And then we're in front of the audience, and we had to play in all of the week before, hoping we'd get the laughs in the right. Fortunately, we were right most of the time. So it was great fun.
Oh, I have another question from one of our listeners, and the question is: Mark Sage says, "Do you have any of your own happy memories from the heydays of holiday camps?" He says, "My dad worked at Butlins in Bognor Regis in the 60s, and he has many amusing anecdotes from those times. But did you holiday at Butlins or anything like that growing up?"
I was a small boy. I was about 6, maybe. Holiday I think we went on was to Skegness when I was only 3 years old, and I was wearing glasses all my life, and I've got a lovely photo sitting on a grass verge in my romper suit, without my glasses when I was away on holiday. So I couldn't get this lovely picture of me sitting on this playing with a toy bricker, but I was only a very, very small boy, so I don't really remember. I think we went to Clacton one year, and we 6 when we went to Pwllheli in North Wales. Remember much about it, to be honest with you. My experience was, of course, wearing a yellow coat.
Absolutely. Well, it ties in with another question, because another listener, Chris Rogers, says, "Did you visit any holiday camps just before you started filming on Heidi High, to kind of get the flavour of them?"
Very sensible, but I didn't, as it happened, because we were well written. Excuse me, it was all mapped out for us, and we had it all there for us. We didn't really need the holiday camp to get the measure of how to do it, because it was all wonderful, But
one of my
good idea, I suppose.
I suppose it, yeah. Thanks, Chris, for the question. Now, one of my favourite episodes, I'm going to guess you might say the same, actually, but I was watching it again just before Christmas. Is from series 4, The Society Entertainer, because I just think it just projected Spike's character into a totally different direction, and it could have gone in a different direction. But I mean, that's one of my favourites. But I guess. What do you remember that one fondly?
I do indeed. I do remember that one, because I put on and I started to be the cigarette in the holder. A sophisticated singer, sophisticated, quite going, but he was besotted with this young girl in form when her mother put a stop to it, and when he was tried to. Younger, she was lovely, and it just something for Spike to do. And then, of course, Peggy and Ted ruin it for him at the end. They come on Scottish kilt, ginger wig stuff, sophisticated song. It was great fun. I do remember that very well.
And of course, recently, only a couple of weeks ago, I think it's still on catch up. There was the very popular documentary, kind of a retrospective look at Heidi High, which was brilliant. It had yourself and Sue Pollard, Ruth Maddock, all and brilliant clips. It was genuinely really well put together, I thought.
It was put together well. I'm saying that to all my friends and all the people that have commented on it, and it's about it. Say all the fans. I've got about 150 more followers since that went out than I had before. It's incredible. It was just so well put together, very well. And it was a testament to how we were telling the truth. We're all saying the same things about the same things. We all agreed our opinions about certain things, the questions we were being. So it just goes to show that it was. Yes.
I was talking to my mum and dad last night, and I think it was my dad that came out and said, "Where did the idea for the theme tune come about? And I was like, I have no idea. I mean, you might be able to shed some light on that. Obviously, it was released as a single. I know that was Paul Shane and the Yellowcoats, but is there any more elaboration on that?
He wrote that song and he wanted it to be a sort of a feel to it. So he wrote it with an Elvis Presley song in mind, flavor to give it that feel, the rock and roll feel. And it was sung by a session singer. I think it was sung by the man, do you believe, did the voice of Postman Pat.
Ken Barry.
Yeah, he sang it.
Right.
And it was Postman Pat. But it was good enough for Paul to do, and he made a record of it. Just to the top of the pops. I think it went to 3 in the charts, and they only take the top. They only take the top 30, so he never actually got on the top of the pops. He really was. It's a shame. For the closing credits, they had the of the show, and then when the closing credits rolled up, over us waving goodbye to everyone, I should love it at the end. So it was nice to get it.
It's brilliant. And of course, after You Rang Me, Lord, it didn't end there, because I was excited as a teenager to see the cast get together again for the pilot of Oh Dr. Beecham, which went out in August 1995, I think. I mean, I don't know, this is only my opinion. For me, I think it should have been given a third, fourth series. There was other sitcoms still being commissioned at that time. Let's say Last of the Summer Wine. I'll be honest. I can't see why it didn't get another series, and I think it was great fun.
I agree with you entirely. Very much disappointed that it was axed after just 2 series. The explanation I tried out being too bit is that the things were changing at the BBC at the time. I mean, we were talking about the mid-90s, and the sitcom was actually going down the road of, for instance, that lovely program, which was brilliant made by all the people in it, but it was going down that road of more adult comedy. It had to be put out later in the evening. Want any more of what we call family type sitcom, sit down and watch it together, because family television together anymore then. The kids, laptops were coming out, and you could do other things. When we did Heidi High all those back, there were only 3 channels. Came Channel 4, and there were 4 channels. But then when we did Beeching, how many hundreds have you got for there? For that style of comedy, which is a damn shame, I thought. And we could have got so much more mileage out of those, those episodes. I write some of it with David. Never got aired because the whole thing got axed. I might have had a couple of episodes that I wrote series, but there never was a 3rd series, sadly. It's a shame, because things change. Nothing stays the same, and the world was changing. Style of humour was changing, and that's why it was axed. The BBC didn't want any more of it.
Yeah,
that style of.
It is a shame. I mean, like you say, I think of what we watch as a family here, and I'm really struggling to think of something we all watch together. And I think, like you say, once that got axed by the relevant television networks, it's just going to be so hard to bring back when you think of the figures that Heidi High and other shows got. But I appreciate there's more channels. But I mean, look at Heidi High on BritBox streaming, on Gold still. It's like you say, it's still going. And you're doing a convention next weekend, I think, aren't you?
We've got a little meet up in Harwich, quite near where we do. The Harwich Museum have now got a Heidi High section. The museum itself, from the camp that was just up the road. It's all gone, fortunately. It was bulldozed, and they built a housing estate up town. But we've still got it with us. And the hotel we used to stay in, that gone. They're going to build a block of flats there. So nothing's taken. But we have got a little convention, and I'll be up there with the Webb twins, because they live in the area. They always lived up that way. But we can look forward. I think the first day they told me the first was sold out. So we look forward to doing. It's going to be great fun just chatting to people and talking.
Well, it's been absolutely brilliant to talk to you today. Thank you so much for coming on and going through your career very, very quickly. And good luck with Barmy Dale and anything you've got lined up in 2022. Hopefully now, like you say, let's get Mr. Laurel back on the road as well. But it's been brilliant to have you on. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone.